My name is Cavanaugh Nweze. I'm a resident. I grew up here, been in this neighborhood since I've been about 4 years old. I love it here and decided to stay here. Accountant, community activist, farmer, gardener, whatever the homies need me to be. I come through as best as possible.
So what is your inspiration for providing those services to the community and clients?
My inspiration is really like growing up here, right down the street. I grew up in the Shrine of the Black Madonna. My family, and just like I said, growing up in this neighborhood as a whole, it's about being the change that you want to see, you know, and improving our communities. I was also introduced the work of W.B. Du Bois and some of his writings, and they talk about the brain drain, right? And about how the top 15% of our communities usually get successful and eventually leave the communities in which they were raised. And they get all of these talents, but they don't necessarily bring these talents, these areas of expertise back to their community. So that meant a lot to me, and seeing what was happening here. I grew up at the very, very beginning of the gentrification movement. So I was seeing what was happening in Third Ward and all of that good stuff. And I wanted to be a part of it. I wanted to be a part of the change that was saying like, nah, I've been here and I know this neighborhood is changing, and I want to be a part of that change and be able to direct it as best as possible, based on what people who've been living here for years want, not just somebody who just moved here, you know what I mean, over a short period of time. Like, yes, they get a say, not to say I'm like, nah, you don't matter or whatever, but a lot of times when we have this change in an environment, a lot of times the folks who are here are left out of the process in regards to saying like, hey, oh, well, you've been living here, so you must have been fine with it, you know, you didn't really want anything different. But that's not the case for the folks who live here, you know what I mean? Even just here being this garden, this was not a new thing. This was an endeavor that was led by individuals who lived here for years and was like, hey, this is missing, we want to see that. We want community gardens, we want farmers markets, we want access to healthy food, because even years ago, this Fiesta, the HEB that was here, they didn't even carry organic produce and supply that to our community, you know? Even myself, if it was something that I didn't grow and I wanted it, I couldn't buy it from either one of those institutions. More than likely, I ended up driving out 15, 20 minutes outside of my neighborhood just to get access to organic produce that I didn't grow myself, which is an issue. And it's something that we're still battling now by trying to make what we do have available, but it's not enough. You know what I mean? Like, this neighborhood can't sustain itself off of this garden alone, or this farmer's market alone. So we're trying to improve and increase the capacity of that. But it's definitely a huge start, and it's a start that's been started that was initiated by individuals who lived here for years. And I'm privileged to be a part of that.
So how do you feel about your image being painted on the Renaissance Center?
Man, man, it's an honor, a privilege, but honestly, even the work of you all putting it together and the intentionality about it, and making sure that you recognize people in that community as a part of this project, that's major to me. And so I commend you all on that piece, to not only include me, but include others that live, breathe, and work in this community on a daily basis. Like I said, man, it's a privilege and an honor. And even the Renaissance Center itself, you know, right there, because not only that HEB building, but like, it's a friend, a mentor, advisor of mine who was a part of the development of that strip center on the side of Renaissance Center. So that in itself, I think, is a historic location. A lot of people don't kind of take it for granted when you live here and it's been here all your life. So now to know that I'll be on the side of what side, like where? Like, I want to take a picture of the wall before it happens. But yeah, it's an amazing thing, and I give thanks to the Most High. I give thanks to the inspiration of you guys and whoever's involved in the project. It's a wonderful thing, and I don't know if I'll still be pitching myself once I actually see it. So I'll definitely be changing my route as I drive through the neighborhood, and as I continue to live here. I think about, you know, what I'm gonna tell my kids, you know what I mean? When my kids be going to the school and they be like, oh yeah, you know that, oh yeah, that's my daddy on that wall over there. You know what I mean? So it's a cool thing. It's my hope that it'll bring some even more attention and some legitimacy to some of the work that we do here. For those who do live here and may not know about what goes on here, hopefully in another way to where they can be touched and introduced to some of the wonderful things going on in this community.